Have you been trying to find the time to write, but everything and everyone just seems to get in the way? And you know that if you don't finish your dissertation soon, you're going to lose all the momentum and just stay in ABD land? If so, this episode is for you. On this special episode of From ABD to PhD show, we're going to introduce a new segment that we're going to do called Dear Dr. Goings, where I bring in real life scenarios of emails and situations that I've found from doctoral students across the world and give you all insight about how to navigate these particular challenges. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about the challenge of finding the time to write your dissertation. And if you're just tuning in, this is From ABD to PhD show. I'm your host, Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation, where our goal is to demystify the dissertation process so that you, the doctoral student, can write and defend your dissertation in 1 year or less. Before we get into everything, I want to say this episode is sponsored by the Done Dissertation Velocity Coaching Program. You can learn more about our coaching experience at www.velocitydissertation.com. If you're someone, a doctoral student who is looking to get support to help finish the dissertation quickly so that you can do all the things you want to do with your doctoral degree. But I want to get into today's episode content because I think this is a really important topic around writing and finding the time to write. Because I know for a lot of us, we are just busy professionals and trying to figure out how to make it work. And I received this note from a student named Rhonda that I want to share with you. And then I'm going to provide some insight because I think a lot of this will resonate with some of y'all who might be trying to figure out how do I find the time to write. And so here is what Rhonda has suggested and said. She said, "Dear Dr. Goings, I am at my wit's end. I'm currently going into my 4th year of working on my dissertation, and I have no idea of how to finish this doctorate. I had to take some time off from my dissertation journey to care for my aging parents a year or so ago, and I'm now back at trying to write. But life keeps getting in the way. I can't seem to separate the two. I am an assistant principal and in the school building every day. I barely have time to eat my lunch, even open up my laptop to work on my dissertation. By the time the day is over, I pick up my kids from school, take them to their activities in the evenings, and get home to eat dinner. I have nothing left to give. I am too busy and I can't find time to write my dissertation. Please help. Sincerely, Rhonda." So I first want to let you know, Rhonda, like this scenario and situation is not unfortunately uncommon. We know like a lot of busy professionals are trying to figure out how to make this thing all work. And I know for sure, just from the experience of being a school leader myself, how challenging it can be to manage all the things while we are trying to write your dissertation. And so I want to acknowledge that there are a lot of, things that you are, dealing with and take into account. You mentioned that currently that you're taking care of a relative and aging parents. You have children, so you have those responsibilities to get them to and from practice. Excuse me, and you are a busy professional. So all of these things can add up to a lot. And if we're not careful as we're writing our dissertations or trying to get through this process, it can overcome us and take over. So with that, I want to give, based on what you suggest, in your scenario, I want to give you 3 suggestions, Rhonda, on how to possibly think through the scenario, think through the situation, and find some time to write. So here we go. First things first, and based on what you suggested in your note, you have a lot of responsibilities, right? So first things first, I would suggest you to possibly take the opportunity to outsource or even delegate some of those responsibilities. In my book, 14 Secrets to a Done Dissertation, I talk about this idea around the 3 Ps of dissertation success. We call it the 3P formula. And the formula is having the right people in place plus understanding the right process equals the product. So the 3 Ps, people plus the process equals the product. A lot of times when we're writing our dissertations, we are so focused on the product that we sometimes we forget about the people. And here's why, because Rhonda, you have so many important things going on with your dissertation, it's going to come to a point where you have to get the right infrastructure and people in place. And so what this looks like, you might need to leverage and lean more on your partner if that is your scenario. I'm not sure based on the note, but if that's a case where you have a partner that you can lean on, that would be the first place to go. Also, your family. If you have family that are local or around you, like lean on them. I've had some clients who, what they've done is like, hey, I know I need some, Saturdays to write. And so I'll send the kids off to my mother's or to a relative or to a friend's house for 2-3 hours, just so I can get some uninterrupted writing time. It might even be at this point, depending on how old your children are, I'm not quite sure. If they're older and more self-sufficient, maybe, teenagers, maybe they can, be at home, attend to themselves for, an hour or so while you go to the library and write, if you need to be, separated from being in the house. Because I know for a lot of folks, being in the house can be a distraction, because while you're still trying to do work, everyone else is relying on you as the parent, as the spouse, as the caretaker. And so I could understand if you may need to leave and go somewhere else to get some support and help with that. In addition to this, what I would suggest, as you are approaching delegating and leaning on outside sources, is that possibly leverage all these tech platforms that are trying to make life easier on things like grocery shopping. Like, Renee and I would be quick, and Renee will quick to get the Instacart going and get a basket going and have somebody else do the shopping. That literally saves us about an hour or 2 hours a week that we could have to do something else. So it might be doing something like that. Maybe it's outsourcing laundry if you're able to do so, or outsourcing, cleaning responsibility in the home, you know, whatever it is, food delivery, like go ahead and get the DoorDash, get the Uber Eats, or whatever it is that you're using, right? Sometimes we just have to be a little more strategic in what we do, because it's just we don't have enough time to do everything within our day. And so just being mindful of that, that you can set up your situation a little bit different. And so what you might want to do is think and consider, delegating to some of those outside resources. So that's my first step and strategy based on the note that you had. And just so I want to bring back up your note real quick. You mentioned something that's important. I'll get at my second point. You say, by the time the day is over, I pick up my kids from school, take them to their activities in the evening, and get home to eat dinner. I have nothing left to give. And so from this, I want to give another suggestion, is that you are going to, in order to finish this thing, probably have to find little windows of time to write your dissertation, especially during the week, right? Maybe your weekend's a little bit better, but during the week, you're going to find little bits of time. And so here are some ways to do it. Look at your schedule. And I think everyone can do this, right? Take a look at your schedule. I am positive that within a day, there are 15-minute time blocks that you can carve out that might give you a little bit of time to do a little bit of reading, to maybe write a couple of sentences, whatever it is. I want you to see if you can find 3 15-minute time blocks in your day. So that will give you 45 minutes of writing or research time. I think we all have that. Sometimes we think about we don't have the time, but if we really looked at our calendar and really were true to our calendar, we know that we have these blocks of time. And what ends up happening, and this is an even bigger point I think I want to make here, is that a lot of times we are not willing to set boundaries. And so because we don't set boundaries, it feels like we don't have 45 minutes in our day. But what's happening is that, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there from other people encroaching on your time. Next, you really don't have the time because you haven't not set boundaries. And so that's going to be really important to find in this time, is to be truthful to the boundary that, hey, these 15-minute blocks each day are really going to be for me to focus on some aspect of my dissertation. That's going to be really important. So when we think about fitting little windows, find 3 15-minute blocks. Second is that what you're going to start doing is actually bringing your laptop to the kids' activities. I literally do this. And so a lot of times when I will record videos for done dissertation, or I may be doing some writing, sometimes I'm doing editing and those types of things when my daughter's at gymnastics. Like that, gymnastics practice for my daughter is an hour. And it's something where I don't participate, so I'm just there, and she's enjoying herself. So why not have my laptop and get work done? If that's the time I need to do. And I get it. Sometimes we have older kids who are trying to attend games. I understand that, but sometimes practices, like, let's just drop them off, be there, but tune into what we got to do with our dissertation. And you just be surprised about how much you can do within a solid 45-minute, 50-minute time block when it's uninterrupted. So that's another strategy, and this is literally something that I implement to this day. And then also leverage your weekends. Being a school principal, I get it. I was a teacher for a number of years. I know what that is like, that just grind of just being in the classroom and being in a school building and having so many things coming at you. You might have to leverage your weekends. One of my former clients, what she would do is, oftentimes she was a school principal. And so what she would do is take off every Friday, because she had so much leave. She had been in the district so long. She would take off every Friday so that she could have some uninterrupted time that would just segue into her weekend to get writing and things done on her dissertation. So sometimes you may have to leverage and do things like this. And then also what I've tried to do with finding these little windows of time is that can I set folks up with activities that are solo activities that the kids can do, and then I can just have a couple minutes myself to even just regroup, even get my thoughts out. Sometimes it's just a matter of not being able to write because you just know you need a little bit more time than say 10 minutes. But it might just be getting your list together of things you need to do related to your dissertation, so that when you have that uninterrupted, 45 minutes to an hour or so, that you can just hit the ground running. So it's finding those little windows of time will be so key. But in order to find the windows, you have to be willing to put boundaries in place. And so this is something that we teach our clients in our Velocity coaching program, which is a coaching experience to help doctoral students write and defend a dissertation within 1 year. Because we just know that in order to have boundaries, you have to have a plan in place. And a lot of times we just don't have the plan yet. And that's something we really help a lot of our clients do, because we just know how important it is to finishing. And if you're watching this right now on our YouTube channel, right now is a great time to hit the like and subscribe button. We're looking to grow this channel. And if you know someone who could benefit from this conversation that we're sharing, because while we're talking about Rhonda's situation, this situation happens all of the time. And I'm sure you can let me know in the comments if this is something that you are experiencing currently in your own dissertation journey, if you're just trying to find the time to write. Now, when we bring back up, around the situation, I want to kind of point out one more thing about what's happening right now. Based on just knowing how this goes and some, being up, in a school building, knowing what the life is like, you suggest that there are a lot of driving time. It's to and from work, to and from kids, to various activities. And so based on what you suggested here, my third point would be, in order to better finish your dissertation, what I want you to consider is actually getting a little more creative with your time. And here's what I suggest. In the car, when you are riding to and from work, that could be the time where you are doing your speech to text opportunities to get your ideas out related to your research. I know this is a little bit different, and it will take some skill set, because it's something that I practice when I write my books. Like currently I'm writing a new book for dissertation chairs on how to chair doctoral students, right? And so literally what I've been having to do as of late is actually dictate the book out, because then once I dictate the book out and I can get a transcription, software is so many out there, so I'm not going to endorse anyone in particular, but y'all know all the ones that are available to you. You can start then transcribing what you've said into text. Now, from there, you're just editing, adding citations, all those things. So it might be being a little more creative and like taking advantage of the downtime or time that you have just on your daily commute. Because look, it's just a lot that we have to do. Or it could be, some of my clients, what they will do is not only, speech, talk out what they're going to write about, but what some folks will do is actually on the back end, set up their like PDF readers to then actually have their articles reading to them. This is something that I think is a learned skill, so you just have to figure out if it works for you. It personally hasn't worked for me, but my clients suggest it all the time that it works for them, and so I'm here for it. For me, it's just weird. I don't know if anybody can relate to this. I guess because I'm such a, when I like to read, I like to like internalize what I'm reading. It's hard for me to hear it talk to me and then still internalize it. Just one of my things. Again, this is sometimes about learning, knowing how do you learn best. And so, just being creative and taking how you learn best and incorporating that into, doing something with your dissertation. Because one thing is for certain, if you stay stuck and stay stagnant, you'll be just where you are right now. And so something has to change. And again, just to recap, first things first, you got to outsource responsibilities. Like like I said, I'm a practitioner of this. Like right now, while I'm, recording this video, I have a child care with my little one upstairs so that I could actually have the time to record the video. And so then from there, once you have outsourced responsibilities like cooking, if you need to, getting, cooking, laundry, groceries, whatever it is that you need to get done, outsourcing, cleaning, home cleaning. Then I want you to find these little windows of time. So it might be 3 15-minute windows in your day that you can dedicate some time to write your dissertation. And when I mean write, I think a lot of students get caught up when we say writing. I include editing as part of that at times. And so we have different phases of the writing process, right? So sometimes we're in a creation mode where we're just like trying to get what's up here down into our document. And then other times we have other modes where we are editing and refining. Sometimes there's some reading involved. This is why you just got to get, think through what you need to get done and then map out those 15-minute blocks to get it done. And this includes carving out time and showing up at those kids' practices with your laptop ready to get some work in. And then lastly, the third point is that you have to get creative, right? So it might be, speech to text in the car, having, just audio recording yourself talking through it. It might be having your research articles read to you while you're driving, whatever it is. I do this like even now as a business owner, like because I like to listen to business podcasts. So I have those playing while I'm driving. Even my little one, she's always talking about she's a seller because she hears it so much through like all the content that I listen to on my drive. So I try to be mindful of like how do I get more out of the time where I'm so much stationary and can't get into the creative activity like writing in just because of the scenario I'm in driving or something like that, I can't do it. And so these are the suggestions that I have for you as you're thinking through. And if anything that is any of this resonates, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear more about this. And again, we hope you all like this Dear Dr. Going series because we just want to be give you all actionable strategies that are real life that we know are happening to folks each and every day. And if you find that you are a doctoral student and you want some more support to help you get through the process and you want to be able to get this thing done, but you know you need a system, you need the community, and you need that extra support and attention on your work because you're not getting it currently, I would welcome you to apply to the Done Dissertation Velocity Coaching Program. You can learn more about our program at visiting www.velocitydissertation.com, or you can scan a QR code that is here on your screen to take you right to the site to learn more about our program. And from there, you can apply to work with us. Again, we want to see you all finish these dissertations, and it should not be, time that gets in your way of you finishing this process. What I've come to know, in order to find more time, we have to set better boundaries. When we set better boundaries, the time also all of a sudden just arrives for us. And so this is something that we help a lot of our clients deal with and manage in terms of getting this dissertation done. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Again, if you could do me a favor, join our YouTube channel, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you're a doctoral student and you're just trying to get some support around writing and actually having a process in order to know how to write, to get that great feedback on your writing from faculty members, I would invite you. We have a free training called Elevate Your Academic Writing. And you can learn more and grab access to that training by scanning the QR code that is here on your screen. Or you can go to www.thedonedissertation.com/elevate. And again, it's www.thedonedissertation.com/elevate to get access to this Elevate Your Academic Writing training. It gives you my process of how I went from a struggling doctoral student with my writing in order to, by the time I finished my dissertation, having published 3 journal articles, had a edited book under contract, had 9 articles under review, and now since I've published over 60 peer reviewed publications. And so again, I know this things work because it's something I did for myself and something that we teach our clients to do at Done Dissertation. So come on, be part of the community, grab your training there, and I look forward to working with you all in our Velocity coaching program. And until next time, I wish you all the best, and I hope you get those dissertations done. Take care.